Play to win the game. Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? Hey, you going? You good? You should be. Why is that, Jim? It's Hump Day, Wednesday, May the 6th be with you. I'm your host, James Clements, here at Larry Armour Studios. This is, of course, NBA Straya, and today, more game ones, baby! That was kind of whelming, wasn't it? Look, Cavs Pistons was a bit of a rip snorter, so we're going to break down these games in the NBA Straya game wraps as per usual. We'll do a bit of That's Not a Knife, old mate. No, mate, Spud of the night, better than Lonzo Ball. We've got a Pelicans coaching search, a Bulls coaching search, and a Magic coaching search. It's all going on. We're going to talk about that in Nas. I've got the Unpopular Opinion of the Day. We've got Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame-grilled take. I think I've got a landing spot for Anthony Davis. We're also going to do an Andrew Gaze Great Mamba Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. And then we'll pick and preview the 2 game twos, baby, tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Oh, yeah. Trust me. It's a good show. Without further ado then, Jim, let's get into it. Episode 1398 of NBA Straya. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better watch out for the Jalen Duren attack or the buzzer-beating 3 attack of the Detroit basketballing Pistons. That was pretty weird. We'll talk about that in a second. You better watch out for the Chris Finch attack if you're Victor Wembanyama, because the Suki Lala of the Week award just goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves coach. Oh, Jim, it's just good gamesmanship. I don't know. It sounds a lot like whinging to me. Another case, got a big old case of the Jalen Browns, just Chris Finch and Donovan Mitchell and anyway, and Embiid. Everyone's just having a sook at the moment. Just, there you go. Bit of a hump day vibe, I reckon. Anyway, let's get into today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show with the daily. That's a whip around. Yes, it is. I'm goosed. I was at the physio and I'm just like, I'm just ruined. Oh, Lord, what the hell? I'm just like, I don't know how much more of this I can take.
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Tell you what, the Achilles is coming along fine, but yeah, she'll be right. Hey, we've got some really fun news today, most of which is Thibs isn't against the idea of him returning as Chicago Bulls coach. Man. Oh, sign me up. I love this. Because, I don't know, he's also been thrown around for the Magic job, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, man. I'll talk about this later in the Nas, but gets a double thumbs up from me, mate, Jim. And this is why you should watch the YouTube, because I just gave it 2 thumbs up. The Pelicans, remember? They're looking for a coach after they fired Willie Green at the start of the season. James Borrego is going to be saying, come on, man. Like, I just thought I did a pretty good job. And I kind of think he did as well. They were also still a bit of a mess, even when they got like all their guys back. So yeah. The cool part is the New Orleans Pelicans are looking at, that's right, Rajon Rondo as one of their candidates for the head coaching gig. I love that. He is 100% odds on going to be like one of the first coaches to start a punch on with like just on the court. Just go hammer and tongs. I love it. Darvin Ham is another name that they're throwing out there. Steve Hetzel, Sean Sweeney, which is a pretty good one too. So the Pelicans, obviously, the big problem that they've got is that they're run by a moron, and kind of doesn't matter really what they do when they're just so hamstrung by having, like, Darvin Hamstrung. There you go. Cade's a cunning ham. But they're just sort of, they're starting behind, the 8 ball a bit with your man Joe Dumas in charge. Anyway, obvious no shit statement of the week. Apparently, Grady Dick up there in Toronto is open to a trade from Toronto. Sorry, I'm just going to break open this box. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. Oh, duh! You mean he was open to a trade from the team that just decided not fucking play him all year? I, for one, am shocked. Also, I do love that it came out this last sort of 24 hours that the Raptors tried the trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. at the deadline, but they couldn't find anyone to take Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl's giant, stupid fucking contract. The Raptors being shit because Poeltl sucks is fucking funny as. I'm just saying. Anyway, Chris Finch, as I mentioned, the Suki Lala of the Week award, he was having a whinge about Wemby's blocks. So you might remember he had 12 of them yesterday, a flat-out dozen. Cheaper by the dozen. At least 4 of them were goaltending, says Chris Finch, in between just fucking streams of tears. You won the game, Finchy. Shut up. It's a little alarming that none of them were called. Aw, he's 7'6", and there's no heightened ref awareness that these blocks could be goaltends. You know the value of 8 points in an NBA game? That's also 33% of his blocks. In unrelated news, Chris Finch has just tipped a bunch of sand down his fucking undies. Just grow up. Have a sook. But this is absolute playoff gamesmanship, isn't it? We get this every year with a specific coach calling out about the free throws for the other team. Donnie Mitchell talking about, oh, hey man, I guess I just don't flop. I do like that Donnie Mitchell's complaining about flopping while he's playing with James Harden, the man who basically reinvented modern flopping. Great work there, Donnie. But yeah, Finchy coming out and going, oh, look at all these blocks. They're not even blocks. They're our points. Give us points. It's like the refs are now going to be a little bit more, oh, we better check that. We better review. So thanks a lot, Chris Finch. You added at least 8 minutes of reviews to tomorrow's game. Bloody hell. Christian Braun, he came out and he said, hey, man, I just think I'm the leader of this team. I'm the vocal leader of this team. I didn't play well enough as an individual, and I didn't have this team ready enough to play in a tough series. I think we can file this under Delulu of the week. No, I'm the leader of this team. And everyone's like, yeah, sure you are, Christian Braun. Sure you are. And finally, the Jaylen Brown just whinge-a-thon. I do love that he came out and went, hey, man, don't even listen to clickbait. It's not clickbait if you say the fucking things that people are then reporting. You giant fucking moron. No, it's just clickbait about how I said that this is my favourite season ever in my career because I had the ball all the time and Tatum was out for most of it. Yes, I did say that this year was better than the year that I won Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP and we won the title. But clickbait! Shut up, idiot. He got fined $50,000 by the NBA for denigrating the refs, saying there's basically a conspiracy against him. I thought that was pretty funny personally. So, good job, Jaylen Brown. What a moron. Oh, there's a conspiracy. Meanwhile, he's pushing Tyrese Maxey, just shoving him straight into Joel Embiid's knee. There's no call, but yeah, the calls on Embiid are the problem that you're missing all those threes, you big dumb idiot. We keep hearing that Jaylen Brown is this fucking amazing thinker, this incredibly smart dude, but he just kind of also seems like the biggest fucking dummy going. So, who's streaming in sunglasses at 2 a.m. after a playoff loss, you big idiot? Anyway, there you go, 50K light up. Right, let's do some game raps. Game raps. These were some pretty fun games. Well, hear me out. First half of the second game was very fun. And Cavs-Detroit was a very, very back-and-forth affair until the Pistons just sort of grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck down the stretch, which is, James Harden's on the other team. But, it's got to be expected. The thing is, so Detroit win this 111-101. The 101 for Cleveland is obviously fairly notable because this is kind of what keeps happening to the Cleveland Cavaliers. When they lose, they don't score a giant amount. They scored 104 in the first loss to the Raptors, then 89, then 110, and now 101, right? And, it could be a bit of a problem, couldn't it? you get James Harden as like the secondary creator because you didn't want to stick around and wait to see what Darius Garland was going to be. And here you are. But the other big problem was that they let the Detroit Pistons score 37 fucking points in the first quarter, which is a lot. 37-21 was after the first quarter, I reckon. I did have that written down. I just hope it's right. It was. Good job, me. So a 16-point lead after one. You're like, Jesus. And they clawed it back a little bit. The crazy part was I did love that first quarter. Cleveland couldn't hit a bucket. Detroit were actually hitting threes. I think they went 4 or 6 from downtown. You're like, that's a good start. But the turnovers. At halftime, where they're down 13, they'd made a bit of a run at Detroit and sort of pulled it back a little bit, and then Detroit reasserted themselves. And it was mostly because of the turnovers. They had 11 turnovers in the first half, 3 each for Harden and Donnie Mitchell there. And like Cade had 14 in the first half, Mitchell had 14 as well. Harden did absolutely sweet dick all because it's the playoffs, and here we are. But the thing is, he then got going in the fourth. So it was still a pretty crazy, like, just clawback in the third quarter where Cleveland got it back down to like 7 by the end of the quarter, but it was much closer than that because at the end of the first quarter, it was Javon Carter, I think, hit the buzzer-beating Javonte Green. Javon Carter, what am I talking about? Javonte Green hit the buzzer-beating 3, and then Ron Holland did it again in the third quarter. It was fucking nuts that they both did it, especially Ron Holland, fighting around the world. But that was big because it gave them just a little bit of an extra cushion for that pushing, right? 83-76. Pretty big one because as they sort of get into this fourth quarter, Strus had gone off his head in the third quarter, had this sick dunk, dragged them back into the game. Cleveland are up and about. And then Detroit, with that 7-point lead in the fourth quarter, just sort of stretched it out again. And like you had this weird, like, O-board off a missed free throw, an offensive rebound off the missed free throw. I think it was Ron Holland's second free throw, misses it. Jalen Duren gets the board, throws it out, Duncan Robinson 3. You're like, Jesus, that's an unconventional 4-point play. But they're back up 9 at this point. Robinson gets an and one. He gets into a bit of a brouhaha with Harden. They do a bit of a, I don't know, Harden shoves him after he sort of chest bumped him. And it's like 93-82. But then Cleveland throw their big punch. An 11-0 run, including, I think it was 9 straight from James Harden in that 11-0 run to tie it up with 5 minutes left. But then the turnovers. The turnovers and the rebounding were the sort of thing here where you sort of watched the size of Cleveland somehow not really matter because Detroit had got that dog in them. Jalen Duren and Orsar Thompson were constantly sort of beating out Evan Mobley, and especially like go the throw Jared Allen, who just got in foul trouble straight away and barely played. But it's 93-93, and Jalen Duren, back-to-back possessions, he blocks this pretty sick go-ahead attempt layup from Harden. You're like, holy shit, here comes Cleveland. That's right.
Cleveland!
Jalen Duren says no. Cade gets it. Duren runs the floor. Nice little dump-off pass for Cade, dunk. And then they do it again. There's a miss. Horrible shot by Tyson. Jalen Duren gets the rebound. Then it's just, Cade dribble, drive. Another dump-off pass. Another dunk to Duren. They're back up 4 out of nowhere. Then you get a couple of beautiful Tobias buckets. You're like, what the hell? Tobias Harris absolutely stepping up. Loving that. And the turnovers just really doomed them in the end, right? Because there was like one more after that, and you're like, oh, God. And that was kind of it. They just couldn't keep up offensively, the Cavs. And you're like, oh, there's like a missed. Like Donnie Mitchell hits the 3, but it was a little bit too late. It was like 107-101 with 31 seconds. So suddenly you're down 2 scores. There's only 31 seconds left, and there's another turnover, and it's game over. You're like, oh, shit. Well, there you go. So good win for Detroit because when it got to that 93-93 mark, I was like, oh, God. Having picked Cleveland as well, that's right.
Cleveland!
I fully expected, like, this is the thing we always bang on about it here at NBA Straya. I should get like a little fucking gavel or something and go bang, 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 because we keep banging on about it. When you're down 11, you expend that much energy to get back into the game, to tie it, but to not take that lead on that Harden layup is just such a kick in the dick that, like, emotionally, physically, it's just so much harder just to do it all again, right? And then Detroit sort of settled, hit a couple of shots. Tobias was massive in that moment. Duren was massive. And, they just looked a little bit more settled. Probably because on the other side, they've got James Harden, who was good down the stretch, but the rest of his game sucked ass. So, anyway, you had 14, 9, and 5 with a couple of blocks for Mobley. Hit a big couple of threes in there, but not enough. Harden he was horrible from downtown, 1 of 7. And they go 14 to 38 from downtown. So if he gets a couple more to go, makes a big difference. He ends up shooting 6 of 15 for his 22. He has 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 turnovers. Wop, wop, wop. Donnie Mitchell goes 9 of 19 for his 23 points, 4 of 10 from deep. Not bad, but 3 turnovers, 2 assists. 19 for Maxey Strus. He kept them in that third quarter, drags them back into the game, 4 of 8 from downtown. That sick dunk that he had. Otherwise, like Dennis Schroeder tried to start a fight against one of his old teams. I love it. It's like, hey, Dennis Schroeder's got history with this team. Dennis Schroeder's got history with every fucking team because he's been on all of them. He's not going to fight the entire league. And he's like, fucking, maybe. I am German Rondo. I will fight everyone. And that's how he goes, right? That's how it's going to go. Anyway, the turnovers fucked him up. 19 in the end, and that was just a real tough one. You get Harden to sort of like stymie the turnovers, and he has bloody 7 of the things. Anyway, great defense by Detroit. Osar Thompson was awesome. Cade was just, and I sort of hit on this in the NBA Coffee Run video this morning. I do love the size matchups of these backcourts where you've got Cade and Osar, sort of, Osar switching around with like Duncan Robinson and stuff on the perimeter, but Osar just like, all right, sick. I'll just shut down their best scorer, and he's just fucking amazing. Anyway, 23 for Cade. He had 7 assists as well. Yeah, Duncan Robinson throwing 19 because he hit 5 of 8 from downtown. Tobias the Never Nude Harris had 20 and 8. He shot 6 of 14. He was awesome. 11, 8 and 5 for Osar Thompson. 11 and 12 for Jalen Duren. He was really bloody good. 2 blocks, 7 offensive rebounds, was absolutely everywhere. Beef Stew, 6 and 3. He had the 12 points for Dennis Jenkins. Missed all 3 of his threes, but had the ceiling dunk at the end, and bang, Detroit go up 1-0 in Cleveland. And I think I tipped Detroit 4-2, I think, in this series, and I feel a little bit vindicated because it's like the one thing you look at this series and the one thing you can sort of trust most of the time is that the Detroit defense at home especially will just be pretty bloody good, and it will be hard for Cleveland to just do Cleveland shit. So anyway, one game, but there you go. Good job, Detroit. And then the other one. Oh, geez, it's the Thunder. And they smashed the Lakers.
The Lakers stink!
Especially when Austin Reeves is absolutely horrible. But yeah, the Lakers got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
It was pretty close early, and then it wasn't. 108-90 in the end. And it kind of felt for like the entire second half that they were never like there was a minute in that third quarter, like halfway through, where they'd sort of fought back. But again, they couldn't. They got it down to 4 points. 69-65. I wrote it down. I'm like, ooh, here they come. And then they stopped. Then you suddenly turn around and they're back up 11. And then you're like, oh, okay. And they sort of pull it back. They're back 11. Then they're back up 8. Oh, you're like, look out. Here there comes the Lakers at the end of the third quarter. And then they're back up 11. Going into the fourth, and you're like, 12 or what it was, I think, going into the fourth, and then smashed them from there. It was like halfway through that fourth quarter, it was all over Red Rover, and yeah. It was a weird game because they got off to like a really good start to the Lakers. LeBron was looking spry, looking very good. He was off on fire, right? OKC sleepwalking a little bit, 100% the rest versus rust, right? But then bang, OKC just sort of wake up a little bit, and then they're up 5. At the end of the first quarter. Isaiah Joe got that little floater to go. He did. And it was 31-26. And you're like, ooh, but still. And then OKC never trailed again after it was like, towards the end of that first quarter when they were up. It was like 24-24. And yeah. It was a battle for the Lakers, but mostly because Austin, and you don't want to lump it all on one person, but this is the very, very extremely thin margins that the Lakers are working with against a team that is as deep and as good as the Oklahoma City Thunder. Even without J-Dub, they're just like plug and play AJ Mitchell, off you go. They bring up Jared McCain off the bench, having a great crack. The flip side of that is for the Lakers to not hit any threes and go 10 of 30, to have 17 turnovers to 14, to get out-rebounded, to shoot 41% versus 49%, and yeah. When you've got Austin Reeves, and again, I don't want to lump it on one dude, but when he's got missing, 13 of his shots? It's hard. When you got Marcus Smart missing 11 of his shots. When you got DeAndre Ayton, who's 7 foot, missing 7 shots. You're like, what are we doing here? And then, of course, the Duckman, Luke Kennard, placed on this earth to do one thing, shoot threes and not fuck up. He shot 1 of 3 from downtown and had 2 turnovers. That's the exact opposite of what we're paying you for, Luke Kennard. You should be throwing up every fucking 3, every chance you get. He was very well covered, though, by that OKC defense, and the turnovers got him pretty hardcore. But Reeves was the story for me. 8 points on 3 of 16 shooting, 0 of 5 from deep, 4 turnovers, 6 assists. And yeah, you're not going to win the game when he's that shit. Because LeBron was fucking awesome. 27, 4, and 6. He's 488 years old. Like, that is remarkable stuff for a 488-year-old. So, 27, 4, and 6, shot 12 of 17. He was unreal. 3 of 6 on threes. Like, when he was hitting those threes earlier, like, look out. Rui Hachimura had 8 and 2. He had 10 and 12 from Ayton, but he took 12 shots to get to 10 points, which is... yeah, not great. 12 points on 15 shots for Marcus Smart. He did have the 4 steals, but yeah. When the bench contributed, a total of 15 points, I think it was, out of your 90. Yeah, not going to win that against OKC. So they win it by 18. Chet was the story on the OKC side. He was absolutely everywhere. 24 and 12 with 3 blocks. He was awesome, right? SGA... hit a couple of nice buckets in there. He was 18 and 6 with 7 turnovers. So you can sort of see what the Lakers defense is trying to do. They're just kind of not that athletic and good enough to keep up with the rest of OKC. So, yeah, it's hard. 18 for AJ Mitchell. He was unreal. And then you got 12 on 4 threes from Jared McCain. Lucky you sold high on him, Sixers. Reckon he'd be pretty handy against the Knicks in the second round series. But it's okay. You've got a shit first coming your way. That's awesome. Caruso got elbowed in the face by his old mate LeBron. It's like, I thought we were buddies. Bang! Yeah. Say goodnight. And that was kind of it. They just tore him up. Kept it at arm's length. That crowd was absolutely psycho. Pretty much as I expected. That's what we talked about in the preview. That first bit where I'm watching this, the first quarter and a half, you're like, ooh, here we go. It's not bad. And even at halftime, they'd sort of stuck around. They're only down, 8? And you're like, I thought it'd be much worse. And then it's just death by 1,000 cuts when it comes to OKC. They'll just get 3 stops in a row and you're like, oh, God. They're scoring. It stopped. Yeah. So there you go. OKC go up 1-0. Who was the NBA Straya Pro Performer of the night, Jim?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
I'll give this to Cade for the sheer fact, there was a shot of him on the bench early in the fourth quarter and Cleveland is storming back. He gets on the court and, the sort of Harden's doing his thing. And then it sort of just goes up another gear. And Cade sort of pushed it to that next gear. The 2 passes that he had, the drop-off dunks to Duren were fucking awesome. But there's a steal in there as well. There's just absolute chaos that he gets off to Duncan Robinson that he dumps off to Osar. That's just kissing fingers emoji. And it's one of those ones where the numbers aren't going to completely blow you away. But it's more of a sort of, he played 42 minutes. He had 23 points. He shot 6 of 19. He's probably one of the very few times we're going to give a performer of the night to a bloke who's shot less than 30%. But he goes 9-11 to the free throw line, Bush did 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 turnovers and 2 steals, but was a plus 12 in 42 fucking minutes. He was awesome. Honorable mention to Jalen Duran with the 11 and 12. Tobias Harris with the big buckets there as well. But Chet Holmgren is the other one because he was absolutely everywhere in that game. And it's one of those games where he's had like 1 or 2 of them all season. And you're like, it's the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. You're pointing at the screen going, hey, there he is. And you kind of wish he'd do a little bit more of it. But he did this in a game 1. He should have dominated DeAndre dominating. And he did dominating. So that was good. And they kind of really need him to do that for the rest of this series. This should be the series where he just eats. And it was good to see him do it. 24 and 12 with 3 blocks. Chet, absolutely cooking. Love to see it. How about Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. Austin Reed. Yeah. Coming back from a injury is never that much fun. 3 of 16 though. Yeesh. 0 of 5 from deep. 2 of 2 at the line. 4 turnovers. 3 of 16 for 8 points. That's a pretty up there playoff Spud of the Night award winner. Like in the annals of Spud of the Night history, there's not going to be too many worse performances than that. So yeah, it's a game 1. You hope he works his way into the series, but bloody hell, that wasn't great. And obviously, as I mentioned, Marcus Smart also had a bit of a Barry Crocker shocker, 4 of 15 for his 12 points. Not ideal. And, yeah, outside of that, I mean, there wasn't too many. 6 of 19 for Cade was pretty funny, but, I mean, he was so good elsewhere. But, yeah, there you go. Austin Reeves, Spud of the Night. What about Old Mate No Mates?
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? Austin Rivers versus Draymond Green. This is an oft-repeated trope here on NBA Straya, but it's alien versus predator. No matter who wins, we lose. So this debate is asinine as it is fucking stupid. But at the same time, when you've got 2 big dumb idiots both ragging on each other, we've got beef. You're like, you can just sort of sit back and do the popcorn meme. It's like, here we go. It's like, it's like the 2 worst people you know are fighting. It's like, this is actually pretty bloody good. Austin Rivers going, hey man, yeah, I was like the fucking number 1 recruit in high school. You don't even know that. Like, yeah, you were a pretty good college player, but, you know, I was only there 6 months because I was so fucking good and I got drafted. And it's like, Austin, shut up. You were shit. Draymond's a Hall of Famer. I get that he's like shit house and the backpack shooter and all that sort of stuff, but at the same time, he's had horrifyingly large amounts of success in the NBA. As much of a dickhead as he is, and he is a dickhead for going after Austin Rivers. But again, like Austin Rivers having to like lay out his resume is fucking weird as shit. So he's out there just sort of nonstop giving it the old brap, 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 brap. And the Draymond stuff where he sort of went at him, you're like, yeah, it's pretty funny, I guess. But at the same time, I don't think this is why is any of this necessary? It's like disrespectful comments. I mean, it's weird. And it's kind of weird that Austin Rivers has to respond. You've both got no mates, and I feel like this is how you respond. Because you've got no mates, so you're going at each other on the internet to try to get people to like you for going at somebody. It's just weird. And you don't make friends with Salad. You don't make friends with Draymond. You don't make friends with Austin Rivers. Very simple. You've got no mates, you idiots. Jalen Brunson has got mates, and they are funny. So Kelly Oubre was talking about like guarding Jalen Brunson. And it's like, and yeah, he's also got that big old head of his, which is very funny. And then Josh Hart was asked about Kelly Oubre's comments about Jalen Brunson's head. And Josh Hart's like, yeah, it's well documented how big his fucking head is. Now that is a mate. A mate who gives you shit about some sort of part of your physical nature is a mate. And you can do that because you're mates. Kelly Oubre sort of having a crack. That's kind of funny as well, so I'll pay that. But yeah, that's a good beef. Just anyone and talking about Jalen Brunson's head and all those Villanova dudes laughing about it is funny as hell. Pantsing of the night. Orsar Thompson deleted a Keon Ellis shot. Keon Ellis thought, hey, I'm by this first defender. And then Orsar comes over and goes, oh, blocked by Orsar. And it was pretty good. Strus dunked right fucking through and over Dennis Jenkins, which is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying. Max Strus dunks through and over Dennis Jenkins, but it was a very good one. But my favorite were the two Jalen Duren blocks where he blocked the absolute shit out of Thomas Bryant. Thomas, not Kobe Bryant. Under the bucket. Just fucking stops the block and just goes, nope. And sort of forces it over the top of the rim. And then obviously the sending back of the Harden layup that would have given the Cavs the lead right there in that fourth quarter was pretty bloody good. So that's a bit of a pantsing too. All right, finally, better than Lonzo Ball, Bronny James a bed. Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Dennis Jenkins and Jared McCain. Lucky the Sixers sold high on him. It's not like they could use someone off the bench who can hit some fucking threes. Oh, that's right. They desperately need anybody to come off the bench that isn't just Q Grimes. Anyway, he had 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 4 of 5 of which were from downtown, 2 rebounds and 2 assists, and he was awesome. And Dennis Jenkins had 12 points. Yes, he shot 5 of 13, 0 of 3 from downtown, but he had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. And like when he's playing to sort of that decent level off the bench, Detroit look way different because it means Cade doesn't have to do absolutely fucking everything, right? So that was very good. Good on you, fellas. All right, let's do some quick yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
and you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Brought to you by you. That's right, you can help support the show. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Very simple. The link is in our social bios and our show description. Hit that. Go, basically it's our Patreon, right? So you do that. You get exclusive content every month as well. It's all lots of extra fun stuff from your mate Jim that no one else gets. So if you, buy us a tin, buy us a coffee once a month, boom, you're getting exclusive content. It's very cool. So buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Thanks to all the legends that have already helped out. You all rock. Appreciate your guts heaps. So go check it out. Buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Right. Let's talk about some of these other moves outside of the playoffs. The Mavs got a good one, Jim. I think the Masai, it's kind of the exact sort of dude that the Mavs needed to bring in to give them like a much needed sense of there's a fucking adult in charge again kind of move, right? And it's like, it's a big name. Masai was obviously really great in Denver, fantastic in Toronto until it all got a little bit away from him. But at the same time was like so valued and ballyhooed that there's like, he's getting pieces of basically people throwing gobs of money at him, New York trying to poach him, all this sort of shit. I think he's a really, really talented sort of front piece for a front office. And I think you need that, right? You need that sort of sense of calm, that sense of macro overview that makes sense. The decision-making process is seemingly very solid. He probably won't operate in the dark to fucking trade Luka Doncic. So yeah. But I did appreciate, so he did this sort of intro press conference, and the way that he sort of talked about the Luka stuff, and he's like, yeah, look, it's fucking done, man. And so, and this is what he said, there's a healing process with that. Luka is a future Hall of Famer, and that's the past. In Africa, we say when kings go, kings come. And a king went, we have a little prince here that we're going to turn into a real king. I think we have to start thinking that way. Like, here, I understand what we've gone through, but there's no other way to do this than winning. Bringing all the players together, finding the right players. We have the draft, we have free agents, we have so many things. We have young players on our team. We have to now start focusing on this. We can't cry forever. And yeah, this is why you have to bring in somebody of his stature from outside of the organization. Like Finley and all the other dudes there, they were complicit in the fuckery of the Doncic trade. And big baby Gerber, Patrick Dumont, and his big old dumb head, having pushed Cuban to the outer. Like Cuban is going to probably go on a million more fucking podcasts and probably rag on Nigeria or something, because Cuban's just now the world's biggest loser. But still, I think giving your franchise at least a sense of competency is a really, 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 really big thing for someone like the Mavs right now, where it's felt like for the past, 2 years that they've had no voice, like fans have had no voice. It's like the organization's not listening to them at all. And it's just been like one giant fuck you after the other. Masai will fix that part of it to a degree, right? Or at least you can trust in his working knowledge of the NBA and what he wants to do with the team and how it's going to operate and all that sort of stuff. The big question is like, what do they do with Kyrie? What do they do with Jason Kidd? He was sort of asked about this. He's like, look, hey, when I took over in all the other places, we kept the existing coach. Like, I just sort of wanted to see what was going on and how they operate and all that sort of stuff. And Kyrie, I want to see him play next to Cooper Flag as well. It's like, yeah, fucking smart. I still can't believe they let those fucking idiots in charge during this past season trade away Anthony Davis for a bag of chips. He didn't say that. That was me. So, morons. But anyway, so I think the Mavs are on the right path. As I said yesterday, this is a really important draft. It's the only time they control their own draft pick until 2031. So, better make it count there, Messiah. But still, on the right path. Good hire, I think. Chicago, Jim. Did they get a good one? Yeah, I kind of think so. And they're also trying to add David Lowen from Boston. He's the assistant GM over there with Brad Scott. And so Bryson Graham, as I said yesterday, I think like American names are very funny, and Bryson is just one of the most. Hi, I'm Bryson. So you're like, wait, you're not. So it's not Bryce? Like, nah, it's Bryson. It's like Bryson DeChambeau. You're like, oh, that guy sucks. But anyway, Bryson Graham from the Atlanta Hawks. As I said yesterday, I love the idea of getting the guy who swindled the Pelicans out of their first-round pick when he was in Atlanta, because he'd been at New Orleans beforehand and was instrumental in getting that in the Derek Queen sort of finagling and taking advantage of Joe Dumas. You need smart people in your corner. And the cool part, I think, for Bulls fans is that it came out that he has like complete autonomy to rebuild the front office and all that sort of stuff. And so they basically, I think there was Matt Lloyd, who was another guy who'd been at the Bulls for ages, was sort of thought to be the dude. And they sort of went outside the box with this 39-year-old dude from Atlanta. And that's good, I reckon. So I guess we'll sort of see, right? Like, it's kind of neat. And I reckon, yeah, they've also talked about Dave Lewin of the Celtics as well there, and that'll be interesting. But I think what they sort of have to do is pull it, like as I said yesterday again, like the idea that they now have someone in charge of the front office who understands that if you trade your players, you can in fact get first-round draft picks back for them. Like that's a thing you can do. The previous front office seemingly just didn't understand that concept and completely pissed away an entire generation of Bulls players that completely has probably fucked their future. you look at the sheer balance of talent they had 2-3 years ago and what they got in return for it and what they have left. It's fucking crazy. So I think your man Bryson has got a fucking job in front of him, but he seems smart. He'll think outside the box and away he goes. So, and if you get, Lemon from Boston, you're laughing as well. Like, just add smart people. That's a good way to rebuild your team for the most part. Should they bring back Thibs as their coach, though, Jim? Yeah, nah. I kind of love it. I love it. Thibs installing, just that sense of culpability and responsibility the same way that he did for the Knicks. Like, the Knicks are a fucking basket case by the time he got there. And he fixed it in a couple of years and just sort of instilled in them that work ethic, the defense, sort of what his basketball ethos was about. Yes, the offense was always a bit fucking how you going, but the minutes were always a bit how you going. But, I mean, for a young team, have a fucking crack, right? The weird part is, and this is sort of what I was alluding to with what a horrible fucking job that front office has done to that Bulls team. Like, AO's on the Wolves. Kobe White is now in Charlotte. And in return, they're sort of sitting there going, well, I guess we've got Rob Dillingham and Patch Williams. But you've basically got Giddey, Buzelis. You can apparently, Noah Essengay has grown and he's now like 7 foot. That's good. But, yeah, Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, Rob Dillingham. Oh, sifting through that chaff is going to take a bit of work. But I'll tell you what, I don't mind the idea of the Outback Takehouse in a second. But I think the unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Don't know if it'd be unpopular, but Thibs back as the coach, just to instill some real hard-nosed grit behind this Bulls team again would be fucking awesome. Giddey, I reckon, would excel with that. I don't know. Thibs might hate him. Thibs might love him. Gids seems like a pretty fucking likable dude. He works his ass off, so I reckon he'd be fine. But still, I reckon it'd be fantastic for them, right? It means he'd probably play Isaac Okoro like 400 minutes a game. But anyway, the thing is, the Bulls, I think they just need a sense of direction. Now with the front office, if you bring back the old coach from the early thousands, not the early thousands, the late thousands, tens. Settle down, Jim. It feels a little bit back to the future, but I think we've just seen the proof is in the pudding, right? What he did with New York was amazing. Let him have a bit of a free hand with Bryson there in Chicago. Who knows what could happen? It probably just fucking dragged them out of just the shithouse mediocrity they've been stuck in for the last, decade? So, yeah, bring him back. How about a bit of Outback Takehouse, though? It's Wednesday at Outback, and you know what that means, the Hump Day Special. That's right, every Wednesday we go into the Outback, find a couple of feral camels, bang, take them down, whip off the humps, and boom. You stuff it full of whatever's lying around the kitchen, chuck it in the oven, and it's probably delicious. Just slow roast that for a good 4 hours, throw in some mince, throw in some chickpeas, bit of coriander in there, just whatever you got lying around. Go nuts, mate. And it's bloody delicious. It's the Hump Day Special, only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill take is, now's the time to go get Anthony Davis, Chicago Bulls, only at Outback. So the AD to Chicago stuff that we talked about during this season, now that he's on the Wizards, it's, I think, probably, I don't know how they didn't just go and fucking get him for the bag of chips that Washington got him for. And I think because the Bulls are sitting there going, well, we've got this extra draft pick this year as well. I mean, it's not bad this year. Like, we're feeling pretty good, huh? And so your draft order, where they've got the 8th best chance is it the 8th, 9th best odds? And then they get Portland's number 15 pick as well. I don't know. It's a good way to restock your team, but also if you want to give, they've got all their own picks as well because they've done nothing for the last decade. Go get Anthony Davis. Just kick the tires. Just see what happens. That'd be pretty fucking funny, wouldn't it? They finally do it when he's old and broken down. But anyway, I still love the idea of Anthony Davis in Phoenix. But the other one that I don't mind the idea of is Anthony Davis down there in Orlando. Oh, look out. Now we're talking. But the thing is, I think Wendell worked out pretty bloody well for them. They just don't have a giant amount of size on that team, though. Anthony Davis, at least defensively, probably a little bit more of a problem than Wendell. At least Wendell plays a lot more. He did this year at least, but I don't know. Orlando Anthony Davis, just following in the footsteps of other famous big men like he continues to do. I'll go to the Lakers. I'm the next big, awesome big man. And he goes to Orlando. It's like following in the footsteps of Shaq and Dwight and Paolo. I don't know. Phoenix, I still think, is the best fit because they'll just get him healthy and he'll stay healthy until he's like 38. Nice. All right. No Australian Player Watch today because, the Australian Player Watch, we'll just do it anyway because Tyrese Proctor and his Cleveland Cavaliers obviously lose that game. He copped a game one, did not play. Coach's decision. All right. Andrew Gay's Great Mamba Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
It's the first annual
Andrew Gay's Great Mamba
Award for Outstanding Achievement in
the Field of
Excellence. So Steph Curry has the highest plus-minus in a playoff run ever. Right, so across an entire playoff run, he had plus 245 in the 2017 season. You might remember that year is the year that they curb stomped everybody and won the title because they'd glommed on with Kevin Durant and it wasn't that competitive. Jalen Brunson is only one game into the second round and he's already a plus 111. I'm just saying, that's pretty good. So that sort of goes on top of the Knicks that I was talking about yesterday. The Knicks being the first team to win 3 games by 25 plus point, 3 straight playoff games by 25 plus points. The first to have like that giant 4-game, was it 135 points across 4-game margin, all that sort of shit. But I think 2017 Curry was on next level stuff. Just when he was playing, they were awesome. You had KD, you had Draymond, you had all the dudes still kicking on. But Brunson, 111 already, only in the first game of the second round. So they get another couple of ass kickings of Philly in there. Who knows what could happen. Second is Draymond with a plus 227 in 17 as well. And Kobe in 2001 is third with a plus 213. So the second year of the Shaq Kobe Lakers title run. Not bad. All right, how about a couple of game previews? Actually, let's do a Paddy Mills Game Day Ball, a Game Day Twitter check-in. See what Paddy's been up to, because I think it's been a bit. He's got a lot going on, doesn't he? Seems like a pretty cool guy. Where's Baller Pat? There he is. Oh, some good ones. Island Hoops and the Big Smoke. There's that one. Dynamiter, Paddy Mills. Yeah, not much else going on. There's Josh Giddey, though. Whoa, that's his Puma shoes. God, they look good. Hey, Josh, give me some Puma shoes. They're awesome. Friend of the program, Josh Giddey, hook us up with some new kicks. Anyway, righto, let's do it. Let's do some game previews. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, not bad. I'm expecting to be quite sore tomorrow from the physio, but anyway. You can follow all of our picks over at Dabble. The link is in the social bios in the show description. So go click on that if you want to follow along with what we're picking. So today we went 1 of 2. We nailed OKC minus 15.5 and missed out on the Cavs plus 3.5. And it looked like it was going to be like in that fourth quarter. I'm like, all right, we might be all right here. And then, a little bit too much Jalen Duren and Tobias Harris. Who knew? Anyway, tomorrow's game 2 is very interesting setup for both of them, I reckon, because the Sixers were just embarrassed in game 1, absolutely dead in their feet after that game 7 against Boston, right? And the Knicks just took them apart. Smashed them. Unrelenting smashing. The big question will be how they bounce back, and that's exactly kind of what they did, if you remember, in that Boston series. Because if you go back to game 1 of the Boston Sixers series, Boston won that one, 123-91. The Knicks won game 1 against the Sixers, 137-98. Jeez, Jim, that's a bit similar. Yeah, it is. And then the Sixers went and won game 2 in Boston. Just saying. I expect a bounce back from Philly, plus 6.5. I think the Knicks can still win this, but at the same time, like, if their offense suddenly just isn't the greatest offense we've ever seen in the history of the world, Philly should have a bit of a crack and have a bit of a chance at that. So I'm going to take Philly plus 6.5. Embiid was horrible in game 1. Maxey could not get going at all. And like, this is the hard thing, rolling in from a series into another series straight away. Look, very little rest, but that's what happens. So I think coming into that series, when we're talking about this in the previews, my biggest thing was looking at game 2 and just what it'll look like. And I reckon I was always going to take Philly, and I'm taking Philly plus 6.5. So that gets us then to Minnesota against San Antonio. That's right. The Spurs are 9.5-point favorites at home against the Spurs. And I will 100% be taking the San Antonio Bandera Spurs. That's right. I'm going to take the 2 losers from game 1 to win in game 2. Well, maybe not win in Philly's case, but I'm taking the 6.5. But I think San Antonio smash them at the Wolves in game 2. Because, look, Finch has been a fantastic sort of game planner coach. And I think throughout the series, you sort of see adjustments that he makes. The way they defended Wemby with Randall was fantastic. Gobert in there as well. Just, they'll figure out Mitch Johnson and his Spurs assistants, including our beloved Matty Nielsen. They'll be out there just crafting different approaches in different ways. And I expect like a much better performance from Fox and from Wemby. Because when your 2 best players just have a stinker in game 1, the obvious go-to is just they smash game. Well, in game 1, they stink. Game 2, they should smash it. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go San Antonio minus 9.5. Ant-Man on one leg. I assume he'll start next game. They might. I don't know what's going to be happening with AO. But I think the Wolves probably, like the Mike Conley 12 points out of nowhere was a bit, whoa, look at that. And Randall was fantastic defensively. They'll probably try to figure out their way around that next time. So I trust in the Spurs perimeter defense and the scoring nous of Fox and Wemby to sort of get them over the hump against the Wolves in game 2 and tie that up. So I'm going to go Spurs minus 9.5. But there you go. Those games should be awesome. And we will wrap them all up for you on tomorrow's show. So that'll be fun. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. We're all over the socials. You see it every morning with NBA Coffee Run, etc. Get around Footy Unfiltered if you like your AFL. We launched that this year. It's going great guns. I really enjoy doing it. I just love talking footy. Simple as that. But that's called Footy Unfiltered. So go check it out on YouTube and your podcast, etc., your podcast apps and whatever. Jump in the comments, rate, review, star, subscribe that and this one and NFL Straya and Jim Does Supercoach. We've got the Jim Does Supercoach AFL show popping off tonight as well. So get around Jim Does Supercoach if you like Supercoach. Rate, review, and star all of them on your podcast apps. And YouTube. Go find them on YouTube. Say hello. You can watch me doing all of this. Also, help support the show. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Once you do that, you join the Dead Set Legends Club and you get cool exclusive content each month, which is neat and fun. So that'll be good. Go do that. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. And otherwise, big thanks to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Go check out House Hats as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator Goldmine's Ramshackle Army, who are playing Scarfighter 2, which is at the Bendigo Hotel in Collingwood this Saturday, May 9, along with the Porkers, the Kitty Hawks, and a bunch of other very cool bands. I'll be there before and after Deftones. I'm going to go to Deftones in the middle, so that'll be fun. Also, iOS, Sex Jedi, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear, so smash them on your music streaming platform of choice. And that is it. We I'm going to leave it there, and we'll catch you tomorrow for a quick Thursday wrap-up show of the 2 games. Just a quick one tomorrow. I do like this sort of, do a bigger one Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Quick shows in between. Yeah, not bad. So, we'll speak to you tomorrow, dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would you? Hug your mates, and later, hosen.